Hi everybody, welcome back to the Master Flow Plumbing YouTube channel. Today we're excited to bring you a new type of video for, at least for us. We're going to be reviewing a Sotomo smart toilet. These folks were kind enough to send us one to review for them, so we're going to go ahead and do an unboxing. We're going to kind of go over some of the features. We're going to do an install, and then we're going to kind of show you the feature after the install and do a review of it and give you our opinion of it. We're also excited to bring you our first giveaway. They're going to offer a 10% discount code that we'll put down in the description. And then for the first 7 days from the time the video is released, anybody who goes to their website directly and uses that discount code is going to be entered into a giveaway for a free over-the-toilet shelf storage unit. I've seen pictures of it. It's pretty cool, actually. So go ahead and check the description and go check out their website. They've got a bunch of cool products, actually. I have looked into that. So without further ado, we're going to get into unboxing this puppy. This is the Sotomo 07P. If you guys don't mind, I've actually jotted down a few notes with some of the features on it. So again, like I said, it's the model 07P. It is pronounced Sotomo. It's a smart toilet. It has a remote control set. It has a battery box assembly that comes with it, a flange, wax ring, and mounting kit. We'll talk about it. It is heavy. It is made of ceramic or china, and it is 101 pounds. So you might need a little hand getting this thing installed. It has an adjustable bidet built into it, adjustable air dryer. It has auto flush. It has a kick flush, which I believe I've seen on other ones where if you're sitting on the toilet, you can use the heel of your foot right in the front edge of it to actually kick it to flush it. For those of you who need the emergency flush. It has a heated seat, a night light, and it has deodorization also. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this box. Now keep in mind, folks, I've removed the shipping straps off of it and cut the tape, but I have not opened this box yet. So I'm going to go ahead and kneel down and kind of do that, and we're going to kind of take a look at it for the first time. Here's what we got inside, folks. If you take a look here, we've got a user's manual right here, which we are definitely going to use. And then we are going to, don't be afraid out there, men. Go ahead and look at the instruction manuals on how to install something like this. This isn't your ordinary toilet. And I will also say at this point, I'm old school plumber. I've not been quick to warm up to these. I installed a smart toilet for a customer a couple of years ago, and the cost of it was over $6,000. Okay, I was a little nervous installing that, and it was really cool. I'm sorry to get sidetracked here, but I'm going to give you just a quick story about that. It was cool to install. It was neat to see it working when it was all, at the end of it. But my initial impression of that was, why did we need to reinvent the wheel? It's a toilet, for crying out loud. I've changed that opinion a little bit, and I kind of see, where, the technology has kind of come around on, certain things. Even something as basic as a toilet has room for improvement. So here we are. So anyways, we had the instruction manual. We have an installation kit. This actually is going to have a larger water line than normal, it looks like, and it's got some mounting pieces here, it looks like, and some batteries there. Looks like we've got a template, which you may need if you're doing a new construction, so you know right where to mount that flange at, all that good stuff. So we're going to set that off to the side. Looks like we've got, I'm going to believe that's probably the battery box that was mentioned. This looks like, I'm not sure what that is. Here's a really neat looking remote control that comes with it, right here. And then again, here's that larger water line I was talking about. This is what this is right here. This is an adapter for that, so that we can actually connect our toilet back up to it and kind of go from there with it. All right, I'm gonna set this off to the side also. Some of that styrofoam looked like it was damaged. I'm gonna guess that was probably from shipping. Hopefully the toilet itself isn't. I wasn't here when it was delivered. I was actually down in the sunshine state of Florida when it was delivered, so I had to rely on my wife to actually get it moved into the shop. So I'm gonna pull that off there. And okay, so folks, let's go ahead and pull this box off right here. And here's what we're getting down to, it looks like. So looks like we got some shipping dust on there. Get some more of this, some more foam. Packaged very well. It is intact. It's in one piece. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn it around here so you can get a look at it. This is definitely a heavy toilet. But you can see it's got some features back here. There is a cord, and that is going to have to be plugged in at some point. And yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into our donor bathroom here where this is going to be installed. And so we're going to go right to that. But before we do, I want to remind you again, stick around to the end of the video so that you can get that discount code. We'll also have it down in the description. We'll also have a link to the website where you can buy one of these directly and also any of their other products. And don't forget, folks, the first 7 days from the release of the video, anybody who makes a purchase from their website directly, not Amazon, they are sold on Amazon also. We'll put a link in there for that too, for those of you after, you know, the thing. But if you go on there within the 7 days of the release of the video and you make a purchase, they are going to enter you in for a giveaway for a free over-the-toilet shelf assembly thing. That's actually pretty cool. So let's go jump right into it and let's magically go to that bathroom. Okay, folks, so here we are in our bathroom that we're going to be installing the Sotomo Smart Toilet. I talked about this briefly in the introduction here. It is indeed a template, not necessarily for new construction, although it is also for that. It's also so we can check a couple of things here. So what we're going to do is, you can see we've got a very old toilet flange here, but it should be fine. It worked with the other toilet. It should work with this one. So we're going to go ahead and center this hole over that. The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure, because I've noticed in the past when I've installed these type of toilets before for other people, sometimes that shutoff valve can be right in the way. In this particular case, it looks like the edge of our toilet right here is going to come out right about there. That valve is going to be very, very close. What I'm going to probably do is I'm going to probably try to turn that valve so that it's facing the other way so that handle doesn't, you know, come over there like that. So per the instructions, I am going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to just take a pencil and lightly, and I'm going to use a pencil because I can always, you know, use a cleaner and get this back off the floor here. But I'm going to go ahead and, this is just so I know where that toilet ultimately needs to be as I'm trying to set it, because these toilets are a lot different than a conventional toilet to set because you can't see where you're lining them up. So you need to kind of ahead of time either make some marks on the floor and do that. So as you can see, I got a pencil mark around that, and that's what we're going to start with. Okay, so our next step, I've gone ahead and installed the supplied T that came with the Smart Toilet. This is to convert it from a 3/8 shutoff valve to the necessary size lines that are required for the Sotomo Smart Toilet. Next, we're going to go ahead and get these pieces right here that they include installed on our toilet flange. This is how the toilet itself is going to be mounted. We have not put the wax ring on there yet. That'll be coming. So I've gone ahead and attached the one side, but we'll talk about this. What this does is this gives us a lot of flexibility through the access through the side of the Smart Toilet where we're going to mount that. So this is our permanent mount to the flange, to our existing flange here. And then afterwards, once we have the toilet in place, we're going to come through an access hole on the side, and we're going to try to catch these holes right here, and we're going to anchor the toilet to these. These are anchored to the flange first, and then this is what's going to anchor the toilet to these, which is anchored to the flange, which anchors the toilet to the floor. As you can see, they put a bunch of holes in here, so it's going to be not so crucial that you have it, you know, really super precise, which I'm glad to see because some of the other ones I've done have been an absolute nightmare. Okay, so we're going to take this right here. I've gone ahead and put this in. Now, some toilet flanges are going to have slots that go like this, and you're going to ultimately want these pieces at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions. So my particular flange here that I'm dealing with is an older one. I mean, it's very old. You know, it's an old cast iron one. And it doesn't have the slots on it, but it has these notches right here that are made for the bolts. So I'm going to simply slide the flanged end of the bolt into place right here. I'm going to snug this nut down right here onto the washer. I'm going to draw it as tight as I can by hand. And then I'm going to begin using my adjustable wrench right here to go ahead and snug this down. Okay, we're getting close to getting this thing installed. A couple things to kind of point out before we go ahead and get this seated onto our wax ring and get it mounted down. This right here is a battery pack that comes with the toilet. And what this is for is when you have a power outage, because this toilet actually does have to plug into an outlet. That's also something that we should probably talk about real quick. It's going to have to plug into an outlet when it's done. It does require 110 power. This particular bathroom, there's an outlet way up here. Make sure you check with your local electrical codes and make sure if you need to have a GFI outlet, which in this particular case we do up there. That's a ground fault interrupted outlet, so that if somebody drops something electrical in there, it will pop that instead of electrocuting somebody. That's the purpose of it. It would probably be a little nicer if that outlet was installed way down here for it. So if you're doing this on a new construction or planning this on a new home, make sure you have your electrician put an outlet down there. And it also might be a good idea to point out, if you're going to install one of these on a brand new home that's being built, make sure that that shutoff valve is actually kind of a little further to the left than normal. I think ours is going to clear. We're going to find out momentarily here. I've also gone ahead and taken all the lines that are going to have to be connected, including the power cord, and I've just kind of taped them with some masking tape and put them off to the side right here, because they're going to be pretty difficult to reach when this is against the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this battery pack right here, folks. I'm going to pull this protective thing off of here. We're going to plug that in and secure it with the plastic nut that is built onto it. Whoop. A little tricky to get it going, but there, whoop, thought we had it. There we go. Just like that. And then I think I'm going to probably just tuck that in there. Now, there is something on here that says it's a special battery for emergency flushing. It is strictly prohibited to use with other devices, and that it is 12 volt. I don't think that we're going to have to change the batteries on this thing anytime soon, so I'm not really sure what the outcome is on that, if we need to someday change that or not. I guess time will tell. But I'm going to just kind of tuck it back in there so that maybe we'll have enough room behind the wall to actually reach that. Okay, so this is likely to be the most difficult part of this task, installing this toilet, is because it is heavy and it is awkward to lift. So getting this seated on the wax ring is going to be the hard part. The instructions tell you to put the wax ring on the bottom of the toilet first and then set it in place. I haven't quite decided if I want to try it that way or if I want to put my wax ring on first like I would typically do. TBD. Okay, we've got our toilet in place, sitting on our flange and on our wax ring. It felt like it made a good seal. Now we're going to go ahead and make those water connections, get this puppy plugged in and give it a try. All right, it's time to actually go ahead and put these screws in here. Don't forget to put these little collars that's supplied with it. Your screw goes into that first. As you can see, I already got one started over here. And these screws actually just simply go in there, and all those holes I showed you on those special plastic pieces, it's real easy to catch one of those holes and begin tightening this toilet down. And what these little sleeves are that are on there, so you can snap on your decorative caps afterwards to hide the screws. I'll go ahead and get this one over here, and then we'll be right back to get this thing actually started up and show you how it works. Okay folks, we're done with our install. Now it's time to try everything out and show you how everything works. Okay, so first thing, kind of cool feature, is you walk and get near it, it automatically raises the lid for you. We'll show you real quick what it does here, is that when somebody sits on it, it goes ahead and it wets the bowl, adds a little water to it, and then when that person gets back off of it, it will, takes a few seconds, but eventually it will flush. I'm gonna go ahead and flush on you right there. Okay, let's see if we can get this bidet thing here demonstrated for you. We're gonna push that. And this little thing's gonna come out. We're gonna use this to catch the water so that we don't make a big mess and get the plumber all wet. Well, and that is fully adjustable, folks. On the back of this remote, you can adjust the water pressure, the water temperature, all kinds of different stuff there. We'll show you a closer shot of this remote in just a moment when it's done. And then you can see the bidet feature is actually gone ahead, and it's made a little bit of a mess on the toilet bowl, or on the toilet seat, I'm sorry, simply because we're using it that way instead of the other way. So we can use our remote, we can do several different things. It's got a flush button, we can manually flush it. It's got a dryer, it's got a front and rear bidet, it's got a stop button. And then again, like I said, here on the back side, we've got different adjustments for how far that bidet nozzle comes out, what the water pressure is, what the water temperature is. And then we also have the night light button on there. And then on here on the top, we have buttons that will close the lid. And there you go. Okay, folks, that's going to wrap up today's video on the Sotomo 07P Smart Toilet. Let's go ahead and talk about the review on it. I think the toilet's really, really cool. It's got some cool features to it. You know, I don't know if we showed it on video, but it does have a fan. It has a deodorization. It has basically a self-cleaning mode. That's that pre-flush thing that it does when somebody sits on it. It has the front and rear bidet. It has the night light. It actually has adjustable water temperature for the bidet, adjustable pressure, and it, you know, yeah, it's pretty neat. Now, I will say this. If you are very handy around the house and you've watched a lot of our videos and you think you're a confident plumber, it should be a fairly easy install for you. I am a master plumber, and if I had to rate the difficulty of install of 0 to 10, I'm going to go ahead and give it probably like a 6, 6.5. It's easier than a lot of other smart toilets that I have actually installed before. I will say that it's probably the easiest smart toilet I have installed. Some of the other ones, I mentioned it earlier in the video about the $6,000 one. That was a difficult install. It was very difficult. I spent probably half a day at that house. It was my first one. Obviously, the second one's always going to be faster than the first one, but still the same. As my memory serves me, this one was way easier to install. Again, the only things you really have to watch for, you're going to make sure you need to have 110 power to plug it into. You're going to want to make sure that your shutoff valve for the water supply is actually going to clear it. In my particular case, it did. I mean, very easily. And then, you know, other than that, yeah, you know, I mean, it's a pretty neat thing. So again, like I said, you know, before, I'm not real quick to want to change the world and change how things are. The toilet's been the toilet for, you know, 100 years or more. But, you know, I'm also open-minded enough to realize, you know, that, you know, technology comes along and it makes some products better. This is a pretty neat thing. You know, if you have a newer home and it's modern, or even if you don't, you just like the features that are on this toilet with the bidet and stuff like that, this is a product for you. If you're just into technology and stuff like that, this is a product for you. You know, it's pretty neat. So again, don't forget, folks, use the discount code that we provide in the description to go to their website. We'll put that in the description also. 7 days from the time the video goes live, you will have a chance to go on there and make a purchase on their website direct using our discount code and go ahead and win that over the toilet shelf storage unit that they're giving away. One lucky winner is going to receive that. We'd also like to remind you to go ahead and click the subscribe button and the like button so that we can keep bringing you this content. Review-wise, I'm going to give it an A. I think it's a pretty neat product. All right, folks, you have a good day.